Welcome everyone to this week's mod showcase. We have the best mods for you this week, from a sexy new class mod, rework of the worst race in the game, armor mods of the week, gameplay, and more. Without further ado, these are Baldur's Gate 3's weekly mods, episode 16. Enjoy. We are starting with the spicy new class mod. Unfortunately, I can't show the page in this video, but nonetheless, this is the Succubus mod, inspired from the Succubus lore and our favorite Succubus of all time, Albedo from Overlord. This mod brings new dynamics to the meaning of the phrase, "Have you been satisfied with power?" It introduces two new subclasses that focuses on active support, which is a unique playstyle for Baldur's Gate 3. One of the subclasses is the Nightmare, which fights using its alluring charm and sexiness as its main weapon. We get to play around with a new resource called Discipline. We spend this resource in order to spread desire to our target. Desire is our stacking debuff, which if exceeds the maximum HP of our enemies, it will cause them to uncontrollably climax.
Yeah, boy.
Weird, right? But stick with me in this one. Once this happens, they'll get the climax status and you can basically suck them dry of HP.
Would you please let me suck it out?
Absolutely.
Can one-shot most enemies, and it can even one-shot bosses, which is insane. The dynamics of the class is like this. You stack as much desire as possible, reaching the threshold of their HP, trigger hormonal storm, and make enemies climax. After that, you suck them dry. Sorry, I don't make the rules. Some cool stuff to the Nightmare are 3 charm patterns you get around level 4. This basically changes on how the dynamics your spell works. Blissful Domination increases the rate of desire and debuff. Statistics add damage and move speed every time you extract your enemies, while Mental Melting slows down discipline decay and adds added mental damage. You can also finish groups of targets once they climax and extract all of them in one turn with the use of the Waltz of the Long Night, and so much more skills that you can find. As for the other subclass, which is the Spider Queen, while the Nightmare turns your target enemies to slaves, the Queen is opposite. She likes to turn your allies to slaves. It is also an active support that buffs your allies to insane heights. It utilizes the same resource and mechanics like the Nightmare, but this version works quite different. The values increase with each damage you deal to your target. It has this whole shtick of BDSM, so you need to bring the pain to trigger the climax status and finish them off with Spider Kiss. She also has her own charm patterns for your linked allies, like the Infatuation and Corruption that strengthens defense, Path of the Heaven that increases damage and desire values, and Wild Desire that consumes health for your allies to heal yourself. Some other notable stuff are the 3 spells you get around level 8. One of them is this insane Indulgent Desire that basically triggers an enemies in a very large AoE to potentially become your servant no matter how far they are. Oh, before I forget, this subclass can also turn into the Spider Queen Matriarch when your discipline values drops below 30. Just like the Spider Queen Matriarch, she hits like a freaking truck. This is a really well made mod with one of the most unique playstyles I've ever covered in a video, so it is a very easy recommendation for added dynamics to your playthrough. Number 2 is our hair mod of the week, which is the Silver's Hair Pack 1 and 2. These 2 mods are made by the same mod creator, which adds 11 new hairstyles for your Type 1 and Type 2 body presents. The hairstyles are really nice and provides a wide variations for your choosing. Each has its own distinct look. It works mostly for elf, half-elf, humans, and tiefling, though the tiefling version needs some work, like the obvious clipping with the horns, some hair clips through the clothes and ears. Other stuff is like the hair physics looks a bit floaty sometimes, especially where you're running around. But aside from that, it's still a very well mod and it clearly shows. Hair models looks amazing, coloring and highlights are clearly visible, meshes are well made, and works with most head models. It also comes with its very own custom icons, which is a nice touch. It surprises me that this is the author's first and second time making hair models. Job well done. Now it's time for us to overhaul the worst race in game with the help of our overhaul mod of the week, which is the Dragonborn Reborn mod. The mod aims to improve the abilities and race features of the Dragonborn race. I'm actually a fan of the Dragonborn, just so you know. I really like the look of this badass dragons, having command over the elemental ancestry you spawn from. Using your elemental breath to decimate your enemies is a great concept, but Baldur's Gate 3 isn't the case. The Dragonborns are easily the worst of the bunch. Just having elemental breath and a race feature such as elemental resistance, and that's it. The elemental breath isn't that useful, so today we will be fixing that. It introduces new sub-race features fitting for that elemental and metallic ancestry. Elemental dragons get elemental dragon skin that provide +1 to your AC, on top of that elemental resistance and the breath. The notable things here is the metallic dragons get the metallic durability, which reduces its incoming physical damage after level 5. It also applies to magical damage as well. What's really cool is that if you add the mod Fizbane's Treasury of Dragons, we can add a new sub-race to the mix, which are the Gem Dragons as your playable sub-races. The Gem Dragons are all based with other damage sources that are not covered in the base game, like Psychic, Necrotic, Radiant, Force, and Thunder. They also have some really cool line breath attacks that cost a new resource, which is the Breath Weapon charges. If you pair this mod together, we now have the best version of the Dragonborn race that we can ever dream about. Aside from having humanoid dragons like in Final Fantasy, number 4 is our armor mod of the week, which is the Druidic Soldier Armor mod. Want to look like a real warrior of nature, not look like those grass twig wearing druids that seems like they stitch together stuff that you find in the forest and make them into gear. Well, we don't do that here. We want to save the world and we need to look fly while we do it. The mod introduces new druid-inspired armors complete with its own passives. It has a new set of armor, boots, and gloves for your aesthetic and functionality. Here is a quick showcase on how cool the armor mod looks. Now for our second armor of the week, we've been having a lot of armor mod creations lately, so I decided to not just showcase one, but showcase 2 armor mods of this week. Introducing the dark and edgy alternative ballast armor. If you feel that the vanilla version of the ballast armor is not emo enough, this mod got you covered. It provides new armor sets from the head, armor, cloak, boots, and gloves, complete with its very own passives to fit the aesthetic look. The crown of thorns on your head looks really cool together, matching this with the cracked skull face mask. They also come with a version that doesn't have any thorns as well as a mask, which is a nice touch. It works with long hair and short hair, so you don't need to worry. Here is a quick showcase on how dark and edgy it looks. Enjoy! Finally, our gameplay mod of the week, which is the additional enemies extended mod. If you guys have been watching the show for quite some time now, You might have remembered the additional enemies mod that I covered before, but unfortunately it was discontinued by the author. Lucky for us, we now have a new challenger and a new creator to take up the mantle and continue this great mod. The mod adds new encounters from Act 1 and Act 2 to increase the challenge value and for you to test out your amazing builds. The goal is to create, fix, balance the encounters in the game. What's cool is that the new encounters sometimes try to ambush you, especially on some really cool locations, for that added challenge. With added enemy variations and encounters, you might want to decrease the experience that you get, which the mod author also got you covered. So for all of the people who want to challenge the Crush once again, have fun fighting them because you're gonna be needing it. And that's it guys, thank you for watching this week's mod showcase. On behalf of the modding community, thank you everyone for downloading the mods while supporting the amazing talent of our mod creators. Don't forget to hit that like button if you guys like the series. Really curious to know what do you guys think about the mods and what are the mods that you want to showcase next week. Would love to know about your answers in the comments down below, including your questions and clarifications. Shout out for all the people who subscribe and keep supporting the channel. I really appreciate you guys for all the amazing support, and for all the people who haven't subscribed yet, I hope I earn your subscriptions in the future, but if I earn it today, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out a lot. If you want to support me directly, please consider joining our D20 Rollers Club by hitting the join button, as well as Patreon if you want to go that route. Thank you for all the channel members, you guys are amazing. Finally, that's it for me. Up to you soon on the next Master Buck Show. Peace out. Bye guys.